What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Refinement. Today's video, I want to talk about reselling flooding. I've been doing this since 2017, and every year a bunch of new resellers jump in and kind of flood the market, make it really hard to find stuff at thrift stores. You go into the Goodwill bins, maybe there's 100 people waiting in line. You're online bidding for an auction and it sells for 3 times as much because so many people are trying to buy it. Storage pickers is going crazy on TV, and so lots of people are buying storage auctions. So you see all these new resellers joining and it becomes harder to resell. Today I just want to talk about kind of what I did to combat that, because to be honest, I was one of those people in 2017. When I joined, I went onto some Facebook groups and a lot of people said, this is really flooded. It's not like the old days. And I started in 2017, so the old days, I'm not sure when that was, but it's not like that anymore is what I heard. And the golden years of reselling are over. But I thought, you know what? I really want to do this for a living. So can I get good enough at reselling so that I can overcome all these challenges? So the reselling fundamentals I'm going to put on screen right here, there's 10 of them. These have never changed. It's like sourcing good items, having a good inventory system, picking, packing, and sorting, prepping, grading, testing, staging, photographing, listing, shipping, customer service, bookkeeping and accounting, and fixing existing listings so that they sell. In case you list something that doesn't sell, you have to have some kind of an aging inventory process like discounting or auctioning to make sure you sell all the way through your inventory. That is reselling, and that will always be reselling no matter when you do it, forever. Reselling will never go away. It's just that you need to be better at these things because every year it is guaranteed going to get harder. I already know that because since I've started, there's already been 10 different postal increases. Makes it harder and harder to ship because it gets more expensive every single year. The platforms that I sell on, the fees have gotten more and more and more expensive every single year. They've never gone down. Even Mercari saying that they got rid of their fees, they pass it on to the customer so that it's like, it could still be cheaper on eBay and you make more money than selling it on Mercari because the customer is not stupid. They can type it into Google and see that it's $4 cheaper on eBay. Even with fees, the seller might make more money on eBay. So it's just interesting looking at all the different platforms. And for me, these 10 things is what I really focus on. And over the years, I think that that's how I was able to stay ahead of it flooding. When I look at a lot of the resellers that I followed when I first started, not very many of them are still around. Some are doing well, and it's sort of the same thing. They focused on improving these 10 things. Like sourcing is number one. My number one priority is getting the best quality items in my store and having the best relationships that I have with suppliers. So over the years, this has become more and more and more robust. Getting inventory has become easier and easier and easier, but I work on it after work every single day. I consider it part of my lifestyle to continuously seek out profitable sources and places to source from. That's been like literally 90% of my focus. The other 10% of my focus is like making sure customer service is on point and delivering the best experience I can. Right now I'm at a defect rate of like 1 per 1,500 orders. I like to make that 1 defect per 10,000 orders. So I'm really, really working on cleaning up my processes, making it as clean as possible. It takes time. Right now with over 1,000 orders a day, literally 100% of my focus is on customer service because the sourcing part I've already improved. But again, I'm looking at all these different things as a way to not go out of business. Number 3, picking, packing, and shipping. It's really difficult to make sure your system is perfect so people are not accidentally shipping the wrong thing. So I'm really, really focused on making all of my systems super modular so that it's very difficult to make a mistake, and double checking, triple checking to avoid that being a huge problem. Over the years, my defect rate on shipping, it's almost 0, but because of my volume, it's probably around 7 to 15 orders a month to have a problem. And I just make sure I go in there. I make sure if anyone has a problem, they have the option of a free return. So not perfect, but I'm working on making that as close to perfect as possible. Grading and sorting is the majority of what I pay my staff to do. Once the item is ready to go or it's in a desirable lot, most of the work has already been done. Really, the hard part is making sure you have something that customers actually want, right? And present it in the best way that you can, and present it in a way that might make sense for them to buy more than one. That's most of reselling, and it's most of my staff cost. More than 50% of the cost for the labor for me. It's like almost $500,000 a year I spend sorting product so that it makes sense to the customer. It's the main way I actually add value to the customer, and it's helped me so much because people who are just selling one version of something, if I have 2 or 3 things that are similar, but no one has the same thing as me, I'm kind of operating in a category of one. Nobody else really competing with me because I'm the only one offering Spanx and a high-end dress. So like you can get your shapewear and your dress at the same time. No other sellers are doing that. Gives me a slight advantage because nobody else is competing in that category. Just selling dresses, just selling shapewear, flooded. So difficult because so many people are selling the exact same thing. Next would be staging and photographing an item. This is tremendous, but you only need to do it a couple of times. Once your setup is on point and your lighting is where you want it to be, just leave it alone. That one really can't be improved. I wouldn't say that people make a lot more money because they have a better photography process. It's just that they get to a point where it's consistent and then they don't change it. So if it takes you a minute to take photos, that's not going to be the end of the world. If it takes you 30 seconds to take photos, it's not like you magically get rich either. So it's like at a certain point, you don't need to optimize it anymore. You just need better product. Listing and optimizing is huge for us. It's so important to me that everyone that works for me follows a script. I just don't want them deviating from the script because it makes it very, very difficult to have any kind of consistency when you list things differently or present things differently. So I'm super duper focused on making sure everyone does the same thing over and over again so we can ensure consistency and, a standard that we all adhere to. Customer service and administrative, again, this is the bulk of my focus. It's really hard to make sure every single customer is happy. As far as like doing it quickly, like there's no issue when you buy something online, you have your credit card, you have the platform that you're buying it on, you're going to be protected as a buyer, but like making sure people get responded to as soon as humanly possible, that's what I'm working on. I would love for it to be instant. Somebody asks a question, problem with their order, they get feedback immediately. I'm working on that. That would be a tremendous thing. Like if you call 1-800-CONTACTS, the contact company, somebody picks up in like 2 rings or less. And that's a very, very good customer experience. I want to get to that point one day. And then finally, I run a liquidation company. So most of my items I try to keep for 6 weeks or less. They're coming in and out. I'm buying like whatever's left over from a company, trying to make as much money as I can on it and make the customer happy. But it's like, let me back up. I'm going to make as much money as the market will yield, even if that's a loss in my industry, because I'm selling everything. If you are at home, you don't have to sell everything. You can just sell the best stuff. For me, the best stuff is only 3% of it. 80% of it is okay stuff, and 17% of it is not very good. So like, I have to get what I can for the 17%. And if you want like the best tip I can give you from this entire video, it's to make sure that the bottom 17% of stuff gets sold and moves out of your store, because you need that space for more 3% amazing stuff. And I wish I had known that earlier in my business, because I have stuff that I've had for years because I wanted to get all the money for them, but their time is already, like, I could have made some money back then and invested it into something that was better, but I chose to just hold on to it because I already earned all the profit. And this is kind of silly. It's like you make most of your money back when you sell 20% of what you buy. The remaining 80%, in my opinion now, you should just be happy to get an offer. Just be grateful for any offer and take any offer. And start as low as you possibly can, even at a loss, in my opinion, because you already made your money. So like, don't be greedy. Let somebody else there make more money or get a great deal. And at this point, for me, I have probably 10,000 repeat customers because they can stop by and they know they're going to get a great deal. And that also helps me not be in trouble when the reselling market is going up and down, because I would say that I generally get $1 to $3 more than everybody else. And a lot of it is branding. A lot of it is building trust over many, many, many years. And it just takes time to get there. So I guess my final thought is, a lot of people are wondering if people who work for me end up starting their own gig. Sometimes, but I feel like they fully understand what it's like to run a business working for me, because I'm trying to take care of my customers, trying to take care of my staff, trying to take care of my suppliers. I literally get paid last, and I'm the very bottom I'm sinking with the ship. Everybody else jumps off, right? So I think that hopefully working for me or listening to my YouTube channel, you guys get that same vibe. When you're running a small business, it's customer service forward. You take care of everybody else first, except for you. You do have to put your own oxygen mask off first, which is profit. You have to make some profit. As soon as you're making profit, take care of everybody else. So appreciate everybody. Until next time, make progress daily. This is the last week that I'm only going to do a podcast in the car. Now that I'm in my warehouse right now in my van. Moving forward, I'll have 2 podcasts, one in the warehouse, one in the car. So I appreciate you guys. Until next time, make progress daily.